the battle of the hybrids. Honda's new Insight challenges the ruling Toyota Prius. We'll see which one turns us the greenest with envy. Next on Motorweek.
Hi, I'm Pat Goss. Seized bolts, this time on Goss's Garage.
I'm Yolanda Vasquez. This week, the grassroots movement behind biodiesel. Everything from homebrewed backyard batches to community co-ops.
And we'll take Pontiac's G8 GXP one fast curve at a time. So come drive with us next.
Motorweek, television's original automotive magazine. Your host for Motorweek, John Davis.
Well, hello and welcome again to Motorweek. We're glad to have you with us. For more than a decade running, the Toyota Prius has been the reigning hybrid king of the automotive jungle and the cornerstone of Toyota's green car juggernaut. But finally, a true challenger has arrived in the new reformulated Honda Insight. So let's see how this classic David and Goliath story unfolds. For many buyers, it all starts with the price, so let's get right to it. The Challenger, this compact 5-door, 5-passenger 2010 Honda Insight, provides a well-conceived package for a base price of $20,470. Insight tops out at $23,770 for the up-level EX with navigation. The defending champ, the just mid-size 5-door, 5-passenger 2010 Toyota Prius, starts at $22,750, but you can spend well over $30,000 for a full-up model. Still, the base Prius includes cruise and stability control that the base Insight does not. And to compete even harder with the Insight, Toyota will offer a stripped-down Prius for $1,000 less later this year. But beyond the sticker price, what advantages does each car offer buyers? Let's break it down. First, the Insight. It's powered by a 1.3-liter 4-cylinder gas engine and a small 13-kilowatt electric motor. The combo is good for 98 horsepower. 0 to 60 is a leisurely 10.8 seconds. Not quite a full hybrid due to its limited ability to run on pure electric power alone. The Insight has government fuel economy ratings of 40 city, 43 highway on regular gas. We actually beat that with 44.7 miles per gallon in real-world driving. Aiding the mileage cause is Econ mode, which promotes efficient driving by smoothing out throttle inputs and limiting overall power. It even regulates the climate control system. In terms of road manners, the Insight feels more like a real compact car and less like a specialized hybrid. Handling is definitely its stronger suit over ride. So while entertaining to drive, it lacks total comfort for commuting. Inside, the Insight provides a stylish and very modern interior, but the hard, thin plastics show it was built to a price. The hybrid aspect centers on a gauge cluster with blue to green background lighting that signals when you're driving in a more thrifty manner. Also, an Eco Guide display keeps track of your recent and lifetime driving habits. Up front seating space is roomy, but rear headroom is tight for those 6 foot and over. As to everyday practicality, the compact battery pack is under the spare tire and out of the way, so cargo room is generous at 31.5 cubic feet with the 60/40 seats down. To its exterior, the Insight borrows the Prius's hunkered wedge-shaped hatchback design, but inside lines are more attractive, taking cues from Honda's FCX Clarity fuel cell car. Let's stay on styling as we move on to the defending champ. The Toyota Prius's iconic silhouette speaks volumes about its green attributes. Its 0.25 drag coefficient is the lowest of any mass-produced car, but it's also one of the most homeliest cars on the road today. In terms of inner bits, the third-generation Toyota Prius is equipped with a 1.8-liter Atkinson cycle 4-cylinder gas engine and a re-engineered hybrid Synergy drive with a 27-kilowatt electric assist. Total output for this system is 134 horsepower. Still no hot rod. 0 to 60 is 9.3 seconds. Government fuel economy ratings are 51 city, 48 highway on regular gas. Our real-world test yielded 46.9 miles per gallon, or roughly 2 miles per gallon better than the Insight. An advantage, but not as big as we expected. And compared to the Insight single Econ driving mode, the Prius touts 3 separate settings, including EV mode for low-speed electric-only driving up to 1 mile. There's also Eco mode, which increases fuel economy in normal city traffic, and Power mode, which gives the Prius heightened throttle response when needed. On the road, the Prius, unlike the Insight, favors ride over handling. It's far plusher and feels more substantial overall. But at the same time, it drives like an appliance. Don't expect any fun factor here. Inside, the Prius offers a well-configured cabin with more amenities and a good deal more passenger space than the Insight, especially in the rear. The front seats are much improved over last year and are now quite comfortable. There's also an available moonroof with solar panels that runs a vent fan to cool the interior while parked. Plus a plethora of optional techno goodies like dynamic radar cruise control not offered on the Insight. And in terms of cargo, the Prius provides 39.4 cubic feet with its 60/40 rear bench folded down. That's 25% more than the Insight. So that's how it all lays out. Both of these are impressive cars. But which one of these two hybrids would we buy? Well, the Prius showed us slightly better mileage, is more powerful, has greater comfort, and a longer list of features. But adding on costly options can quickly overwhelm fuel economy benefits. The Insight is clearly more affordable throughout its model lineup. Add to that competitive fuel economy, a sportier drive, and a more pleasing look. Still, we found it wasn't enough to dethrone the champ, so we give our nod to the 2010 Toyota Prius. It's clearly the hybrid technology leader and the more refined of the two. But while we picked the Prius, it took the 2010 Honda Insight to inject a dose of true rivalry and make the Prius as affordable as it is. And in the end, it's consumers that are the real winners. And that's what competition, hybrid or otherwise, is all about. Now let's stop by Goss's garage and see what has Pat all fired up this week.
John, no matter what you're working on, if it's been in service for a while, sooner or later you're going to wind up with a seized nut or a bolt or a pulley or something like that. Well, lots of times heat is going to be the answer. Get it glowing red and it comes right off. Well, one way to do that is with this mini ductor from Induction Innovations. Pretty clever tool. It's flameless and it uses inductive energy to heat the part. Comes with a bunch of different adapters to fit different sizes. Does a great job. But make sure that you follow all of the instructions that come with it. Otherwise, you could get yourself in trouble. All right, but no matter how loose you get that nut or bolt with heat, you may still have a problem because when you put the wrench on it, it may be rusted away so that the wrench no longer fits and just spins on it. What do you do then? Well, this is called a bionic wrench. And the bionic wrench has a series of jaws that as you squeeze it, the jaws come inward to grab any size of bolt or nut. It works just like this. And that means that you don't have to have exactly the right size because this fits them all. Well, could get you out of a lot of trouble. There are different sizes and they're highly recommended to have in your toolbox. But maybe you don't have an induction heater. Maybe you need to use old-fashioned flame, handheld torch, or perhaps an acetylene torch. No matter, cramped engine bays and spaces near things that are flammable, well, that would mean that you would need a Uniweld flame barrier. This is actually like a blanket that goes on parts that you don't want to get hot. Now, what happens here is on the white side of this, it resists the heat, reflects it back, and it protects everything underneath it. Now that can get you out of trouble or keep you out of trouble, and it's inexpensive, readily available, and if you're ever going to use a torch around an automobile or any type of equipment, you should have multiples of these on hand. And if you have a question or comment, write to me. The address is Motorweek, Owings Mills, Maryland, 21117.
When it comes to alternative fuels, biodiesel is getting a lot of attention. And no wonder. Mixtures of diesel fuel and refined vegetable oil have the potential of powering everything from tractors to airplanes to home heating systems. And thanks to American ingenuity, not all biodiesel comes from commercial refineries. So we sent our FYI reporter Yolanda Vasquez on a grassroots mission to find out if biodiesel is really the people's fuel of the future.
There's enough waste vegetable oil stored outside Matt McShane's barn that you'd think he had a restaurant inside. Pry back the doors and you'll see how this leftover cooking grease is being used to make biodiesel.
What we have here is a modified apple seed processor that can do about 40 gallons per batch of biodiesel.
McShane's interest in green fuels is more than just a quaint hobby. He's brewing biodiesel to run his farm equipment and teach these college students a lesson or two in brew-it-yourself fuel.
We've been running batches about once, twice a week, 40 gallons per batch throughout the semester, depending on oil supplies and homework situations.
The idea of refining your own biodiesel is popular not only amongst backyard brewers, but also community-minded advocates like Adam Schwartz, who spent the last year setting up the Green Guild Biodiesel Co-op.
I really saw the potential of what a co-op could do and how it could really be used to promote biodiesel on a bigger scale than just a personal use.
For less than $4 a gallon and on certain days of the week, members can pull up to this makeshift fueling station to get their B80 blend. It can then be mixed with regular diesel to make B20, which is safe to use in most diesel engines.
So I probably come maybe once a month and get anywhere from 10 to 15 gallons.
Kiki Jenkins prefers to use biodiesel in her 25-year-old Peugeot. She says the renewable fuel is more eco-friendly and merely serves as a stopgap measure.
It takes us from where we are now with fossil fuels for where we want to be, something that has no emissions or very limited emissions.
Until they can build their own processing space, Schwartz's co-op purchases biodiesel from a local distributor.
But our eventual goal is really to be producing it on our own and really demonstrate sustainability in that way.
He also hopes to turn this bright green container box
On this side of the wall will be the pump and the hoses and all that.
into a 24-hour fueling station. Each one of these storage tanks can hold up to 300 gallons of biodiesel.
Right now there's no station in the area that's regularly selling biodiesel, and so we'll be able to make it regularly available in this space.
Co-ops are sometimes seen as a way to support the democratization of fuel production.
It allows sort of local areas to create a market for biodiesel and local consumers to acquire it, even when gas stations don't carry it in their area.
Dan Goodman is the executive director of Biodiesel University, a name that often causes confusion.
Although it sounds like a degree-granting institution that will teach you how to make biodiesel, that's not really what we're about.
Instead, his goal is to get students interested in renewable energy. He does it by using these recycled urban transit buses as mobile education labs.
Research has shown that people are more inspired and learn better by doing things, touching things, and using all their senses. So we feel that's the appropriate way to deliver this type of knowledge.
Public education is a core value of the National Biodiesel Board. Their website lists important fuel facts and commonly asked questions.
One of the great things about biodiesel is that it appeals to just about everyone. People like it for different reasons.
Director of Communications Jenna Higgins-Rose says homebrewed biodiesel represents less than 1% of product in the marketplace.
And while the intentions behind homemade biodiesel are certainly honorable, there are a couple of issues that people need to consider.
Issue number one is fuel quality. Any biodiesel sold must meet the industry's ASTM standard. Otherwise, it can damage your engine. Number two involves the handling of hazardous chemicals. The Department of Energy warns the process is not for amateurs.
And the International Association of Fire Chiefs has a lot of concerns about people tinkering around with methanol in their garage. It's not something that the average person should be doing because it just isn't safe.
McShane and his students wear goggles, respirators, and gloves when working. They know producing biodiesel can be dangerous, but when done safely, it's an effort worth exploring as this cleaner burning fuel becomes a part of our nation's long-term energy strategy.
Biodiesel has so much to contribute, and it's really a win-win for our country to invest in that.
Summer is prime time for larger family crossover utilities like our 2009 Mazda CX-9. With 7-passenger capacity, over 100 cubic feet of cargo space, and high-tech safety features like blind spot monitoring, the CX-9 is the perfect vacation companion. After 7 months and some 17,000 miles, we'll also praise the CX-9's ride, handling, and the abundant power its 273 horsepower 3.7-liter V6 provides. On the other hand, its 18.2 mile per regular gallon fuel economy, while better than a truck-style SUV, is still less than we expected. The only other negative for long trips is too much freeway hop over expansion joints. Otherwise, we just can't wait to get away from it all in our Mazda CX-9. If your vacation includes rut running in a bike or ATV, you'll need a can-do pickup like our 2009 Suzuki Equator. This midsize 4x4 shares its underpinnings with the Nissan Frontier. After 6 months and almost 10,000 miles, our Equator is fault-free. And fuel economy for the 4-liter V6 is finally improving, now standing at 17.8 miles per gallon of regular. Despite being stiffly sprung, we find the ride very tolerable at highway speeds. Plus, its trimmer size and agile handling make it more pleasant to drive in congestion than a full-size pickup. Uncertain gas prices are sparking new interest in mid-size pickups, and the Suzuki Equator is as rugged as they come. Refined is the word for this Hyundai Genesis, while frugal fits the Honda Fit. Both up for review on the next Motorweek long-term road test update. Now let's see what Jessica Choksey has in store with this week's Motor News.
In bumper-to-bumper traffic, small fuel-sipping cars are a blessing, but not if things get too close for comfort. That according to the new crash test performed by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. 7 of the smallest cars were tested, 4 direct and side low-speed bumper crash tests to be exact, and none could muster the Institute's good rating. In fact, 5 of the 7 scored poor across the board. The Smart for 2, the only microcar in the testing, earned a comparison best acceptable rating with just shy of $3,300 in damage to its front and rear. Its saving grace? Pre-painted modular plastic body panels, which are dent-resistant and easily replaced. The Chevrolet Aveo earned the only marginal rating with $4,500 in total repairs. The Honda Fit subcompact's low rear bumper completely underrode the test barrier, requiring $3,600 to repair. Front and rear damage totaled $7,000, earning a poor rating. Easily damaged in a front corner collision, the Mini Cooper's stylish wraparound hood cost over $800 alone. Total repair costs were $6,600. In the Hyundai Accent's full front test, its radiator hose was kinked, cutting off coolant to the engine. Total repair cost there, $7,200. The lowest rated Kia Rio racked up a $3,700 bill for the front test and $9,400 for all tests. That's about 75% of the price of a new Rio. For this bumper comparison, the Institute used a new rating system. Senior Vice President Joe Nolan explains.
Results from the front and rear full width tests and corner tests are weighted to reflect the frequency of those types of crashes in insurance claims. A good rating is given to vehicles whose weighted average cost is less than $500.
So there are potential risks when you buy a small car. Even though you save at the pump and on the sticker price, even a low-speed crash could make that car expensive to repair and unsafe to drive. And that's it for this week's Motor News.
Pontiac has long been GM's performance division, constantly upgrading even its most mundane offerings. But a rear-wheel drive sports sedan as impressive as the G8 presents a different problem. How do you improve on a car that's so dynamic to begin with? Well, Pontiac's answer is the new G8 GXP, and that was enough for us to grab a helmet and go. And go we did, straight to Savannah, Georgia's Roebling Road Raceway, where we immediately got busy checking out this hot rod G8's performance potential. The GXP's Corvette-derived 6.2-liter LS3 V8 produces a stout 415 horsepower, a 15% bump from the G8 GT, and 415 pound-feet of torque. It drives the rear wheels through a standard 6-speed automatic or our car's Tremec 6-speed manual gearbox. In normal driving, the GXP can be a well-mannered beast. Clutch engagement is progressive, while the shifter operates smoothly with shorter than expected throws. A low exhaust rumble gives some hint of its underhood secret, but the GXP doesn't project a bad boy attitude, just a quiet confidence. At the drag strip, a cold track hampered our search for traction, allowing a best 0 to 60 run of 5 seconds flat. Factory estimates are a believable few ticks faster. The quarter mile still passed quickly in 13.2 seconds at 112 miles per hour. Devoid of Pontiac's once overdone body cladding and boy racer add-ons, the GXP's look is subtle but still aggressive and distinctive, with 2 hood scoops and a dual-port grille topping the GXP's unique front fascia. Profile lines are sleek and uncluttered, with tightly flared wheel arches accentuating the wide-track short overhang stance. At the rear, a low-lip spoiler adorns the trunk, and dual chrome exhaust tips exit on either side of the lower air diffuser. The GXP is based on the Commodore from GM's Australian Holden division. The rear drive platform is also shared with the Chevy Camaro, so the G8 chassis arrives track capable right out of the box. The GXP builds on that foundation with unique FE3 tuning to its multi-link suspension and 19-inch wheels wearing grippy 245/40 series tires. In fast curves, the GXP shows a nimbleness that defies its 4,050-pound curb weight with quick responsive steering and smooth side-to-side transitions. Power delivery is right now, and there's plenty there for throttle steering, tire spinning fun in every corner with StabiliTrak turned off, of course. Many so-called sports sedans fall flat when pushed near their limits, but this Aussie import held its own, keeping us entertained from the first lap all the way to the checkered flag. And the GXP stops as well as it goes, thanks to Brembo brakes with larger rotors and beefy alloy calipers all around. Braking distances from 60 average to short 117 feet. Only at higher speeds did we notice a distinctive shudder whenever the ABS went active. Inside, the G8's black cabin is well appointed with tasteful chrome and satin trim, but the look and location of some controls may be unfamiliar to Pontiac owners. One quirk of the G8's right-hand drive Australian roots is placement of the window and mirror switches on the center console. Holden interiors are among GM's best, with overall excellent fit and finish. Only a bit too much hard plastic and the oddly contoured steering wheel rim gave us something to gripe about. A Blaupunkt XM-CD stereo shares a video display with a dual-zone climate control system. All buttons are clearly marked and easy to use. The GXP is upgraded with standard alloy sport pedals and logo embroidery on the bolstered sports seats. Passive safety features include 6 standard airbags with side bags for the front and head curtain bags for both rows. Easy to read analog tach and speedometer flank a digital driver information center. Primary illumination is a crisp white accented by Pontiac's signature red glow. And while some greenies might see red over our manual GXP's government fuel economy ratings of 14 mpg city and 20 mpg highway on premium gas, we think they're understandable for a car with such a high level of performance. Making the GXP your own will set you back $39,995, including gas guzzler tax. Equipped with the only 2 available options, the manual gearbox and a sunroof, our car stickered at $41,590. That's at least 10 grand less than any rival European V8 sports sedan. The G8 GXP is a world-class sports sedan by any definition, with genuine track credentials, refined road manners, and its own unique sense of style. While the G8's future in a downsized Pontiac brand is unsure, it makes sense to keep such a distinctive product for the ideal Buick Pontiac GMC showroom. So we can hope that the GXP will not be the swan song for Pontiac's performance powerhouse. Well, I hope you'll join us here next week for more Motor Week. We'll find out what makes the Ford Fusion Hybrid more than just another green sedan. Then it's the latest in luxury hybrid utilities with the Lexus RX 450h. I'm John Davis. We'll see you then.
To learn more about Motor Week, television's original automotive magazine, visit pbs.org. This program was produced by Maryland Public Television, which is solely responsible for its content.
We are PBS.